And welcome. We are Crossing the Nerdverse, bringing you yet another episode. My name is Travis. I am joined, as always, by my fantastic co hosts, Eric, Ryan, and James. This week, we will continue our foray into 40K. But first, we're going to do our little roundtable news segment. Who wants to start us off?
I can. I mean, the most exciting thing for me was the Gundam Rogue Orbit. I think that's what it's
Mhm,
called.
mhm, mhm.
And the new look Ninja Turtles Last Ronin. Those two games
Oh yeah,
both look
both of those.
amazing. Um, I think the Gundam one is just going to be like a reskinned like mech game. Um, and I found it interesting that they're going away from political stuff altogether. I could be overthinking it because it's that particular like climate right now with all the stuff going on in the world, and maybe that's why they picked weird aliens to fight for once. But I did find it a little interesting that they avoided the political part. Um,
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, I've only seen the trailer. I haven't looked into it that deep, but I don't really know what the lore of the game is.
well, they're fighting. I'm pretty sure it's like some weird alien things. Now
Really?
maybe it'll come back to like political things after that. But that's what it is so far, and it looks good, looks smooth. Fighting looks nice. I'm curious if you're going to be able to customize your mech or your
Yes,
Gundam.
but you almost
Sorry,
have to be right. Like you have to.
you got to be able to.
People love
You're a
customization.
you're a weird alien
I am. Well, I was. I'm American though
invader.
now.
No, you're
Um,
just an alien invader from.
and the last Ronin Ninja Turtles that looks solid.
It does
Um,
indeed.
I mean, obviously it's way too early for that game, and it's made by a newer group of people from what I've read. So I'll be curious. They've done a couple games recently though. I think. Um, but I'm curious to see how they do it and where it goes because that story is it was 4 5 comics I think it was, with a lot of backstory. So I'm curious if they're going to do like the comics and like jump back so you have to play through Raphael's story a little bit, Donnie's, and then Leo's, or if they're just going to keep it where you play as Mikey the whole time.
We should play
um,
as the last Ronin the whole time. That's the whole point of the story.
I know that's what I mean. I'm just curious though if they're going to jump around because a big part of the comics was jumping around. So you know what kind of happened throughout history with them. So I'll be curious. It looks good though, so I'm excited. Like there's a lot of games coming up that's very exciting. Final Fantasies finally coming to a close. That game's coming out. Um, there's a new Resident Evil, so there's a it's a really exciting time right now. I think for video games compared to the last like year where we're getting a lot of really good stuff coming out all at once. So it'll be fun and exciting.
I can actually jump in next. I'm going to step away from normally the movie stuff that I do. And I took a look at the Computex 2026 event that took place in Taiwan. A huge gadget tech, I'm going to call it a convention, even though given the numbers that we were looking at, that kind of puts it to shame. What I found interesting is that over the course of the event, over 91% of the product and reveals and all the content, so to speak, that was taking place at Computex fell into one of two different categories. The first, primarily dominating, was massive artificial intelligence investments. AI was everywhere and everybody was pushing it super hard. And this was seconded only by handheld and mobile gaming, with a plethora of new gadgets and tech coming out, showcasing handheld gaming and peripherals that can be attached to that. Now I was looking at this and I thought it was interesting, but I didn't put too much kind of really thought into what that number actually meant with 91% of the event taking place in those two realms until I saw that the event was so large and so packed that there were entire tech brands that were having to set up booths inside local cafes and shops because there simply wasn't room for them on the grounds. And so, given what we saw at Computex, I would expect to see a major influx, even more than we've seen so far, into mobile gaming and into the use of artificial intelligence.
I mean, we're already seeing that's. I feel like neither of those are uh, new stories.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the news part of it being a Computex, right? And
Yes.
so,
Well, Computex, of course, could be about. I'm a little bit more surprised that there's so much about mobile gaming at Computex, but the AI part does not surprise me at all.
Yeah.
But it's also Taiwan, so mobile gaming's probably not probably, definitely a much bigger slice of the market there than here, even though it's a huge slice here too. But like,
Yeah.
it's probably 90% of the market in Taiwan for
That
gaming.
doesn't shock me at all. Honestly, I've been very vocal over the last few episodes about my opinion on console gaming and that kind of stuff, and I would not be shocked to find that it is on a serious downward slope to the point where in 10 years' time we may not see but a shadow of console gaming existing.
I don't care. Let them.
Yeah.
Boo, console gaming.
You're muted. I'm pretty
You're
sure.
their biggest defender, Eric. Like every episode.
No,
You're
I'm
like,
saying,
boo, console
I want
gaming. Get
console
out.
gaming.
Get out. No, you don't get to flip flop from episode to episode.
No,
You
I
pipe
was
down.
saying boo because I enjoy console gaming.
Oh, that is
it's
not the
fun.
way it came off. That is not
Oh,
the way.
sorry.
James, what do you got on?
Man, I got
news?
so much news. I don't even know what I want to talk about.
Full
New
plate,
comic
huh?
books, pretty awesome. Armageddon, Avengers, Armageddon #1. There's an Armageddon event going on, which I think is cool, and I had to bring it up because it kind of ties into what we're talking about, even though
Indeed.
not the same. But they announced, or they revealed previously, a new character who's now joining with the Avengers. He's a previously unknown or unseen Captain America, but now he's got more powers and is potentially the strongest character in all of Marvel. So we'll see.
Super Captain America.
Yeah. He one shot Captain Marvel, so
Oh wow.
pretty strong guy.
That's what Captain Marvel sounded like, by the way, was that long, prolonged
That long
hissing
ass
sound. Are you
Um,
straight up just drinking out of a 3-liter bottle, you barbarian?
He's setting up for our Pepsi sponsorship here.
we had the
Jesus.
summer game showcase.
Yep.
Of course, a lot of good things that came out of that, or a lot of interesting things. I don't know. We'll see if they're good. I don't know. Interesting. We had in an interview a little bit of an update on Elder Scrolls 6. It's coming along nicely. Apparently, that's all the interview update was. But God, I love my Elder Scrolls, so I jump in for anything.
You don't
So
want
when they
Skyrim?
announce
You
it,
wanna
like,
just keep
yeah,
playing?
there's at least 3 more Skyrim editions coming out before we see Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they have to
probably.
do Skyrim for like your GPS system in your car and like smartwatches.
Did you
No,
see
right
the
now
guy
they're
that-
doing it for
Did you
that
see the
new.
guy that broke his like the restrictions on his refrigerator and was playing Skyrim on his smart fridge?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right now they're building it for the Steam console. That's the next one. It's
In
going to get its
some,
own special edition.
less exciting news and kind of sad. Paizo is also laying off not a bunch of people, but a sizable amount for their size of company, right? So
Indeed.
that's sucks. Has a lot to do with just how things have gone since Diamond declared bankruptcy back in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they can still manage to turn things around. I think they've talked about sales have been doing better, but are still not where they need to be. So
Yeah, having it come out of Paizo really shocked me. It's looking like it's just going to be the summer of layoffs, man. It's getting wild.
Because that ties into my news, and
that's
is
why I
Xbox.
left it at the end.
Yeah. Xbox has also announced that they are going to be making some significant cuts on their related studios after this wave of upcoming game releases. So we got their Xbox showcase. Everything went really well. A lot of the games they debuted, fairly good like feedback in that regard. And then this week, Xbox new CEO put out the warno that a bunch of these studios are about to be getting the axe. So I'm not sure what prompted Xbox to really start tightening the belt real bad on that, but we'll see. I mean, at this point, they're just kind of following the suit with Sony. I know Sony's about to tighten their belt as well when it comes to the studios under their umbrella.
Yep.
So,
I mean, again, well, I think it's
It's
pretty
all-
obvious what tightened their belt is a new CEO.
yeah.
They got to do something.
Well, and on the
So-
subject of actually to tack on to that, June 9th was a pretty major day because we are looking at Destiny 2 shutting down. They're getting ready to stop all associated productions with Destiny 2, and the community had a massive movement to try to get everybody logged into Destiny 2 on June 9th in order to advocate for a Destiny 3 or continuation of the game and the franchise, and actually saw a higher turnout of players for Destiny 2 than they've seen in the last 5 years.
Yeah, like 800 and something thousand players on.
It was very, very interesting, very cool move by the community. For those of you that are fans of Destiny 2, and I count myself amongst that number, I do hope that it goes well and we see some fantastic news for Destiny's IP going forward.
Yeah, I think they're not turning off the servers. They're just not making
No.
any more stuff.
Yeah, there's not
the
any
servers
new-
are going to stay up, still running. They're just not making any new content.
So with that, we'll jump into hopefully happier news and talk about everyone's favorite plastic addiction. It's Warhammer. Everybody likes their little gray piles of shame. Pointedly looks at mine.
Yeah, mine's behind a door off to my right here. I don't have to look at
Bones
it
is
yet.
like, I still have unopened boxes. They're still shrink wrapped. Like,
That's messed up.
I paint one model a year. Eventually, they all have an on me.
he got to
yeah,
skip.
no.
He got to skip last year or a year before because I painted the Corax forums.
No, I'm actually excited about tonight. We are going to be taking a look at the Orcs side of the release for 11th edition in the Armageddon box set. We're going to be taking a look at the models, some of the rules that we find interesting. Yes, Travis?
I think we should start this episode off in true orc fashion and start a wah.
It would be tradition.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. There you go.
And I am going to interject, and this is a completely subjective, only my opinion. It's not WOG. It's never been WOG. It's the Orc
Swah.
Screaming War. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be cool. We're looking at a whole host of rules changes coming through on 11th, most of them fairly minor, but some of them are going to be seriously impactful. And we were talking a little bit before the episode, and it looks like several of the changes that we're starting to see in these preliminary PDFs is going to favor the Orc side of the Armageddon conflict pretty heavily. Now, obviously, things are going to be subject to change. Nothing we say in this episode is going to be chiseled into stone. In fact, that's the first thing I started noticing about 11th edition is that it seems that GW is going to be pushing towards more living documents, with rules being offered for free as a PDF download to be updated and adjusted as time goes on. And I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty excited about that part.
It's to offset the increase in the cost for the little gray piles of shame.
Yeah.
But, I mean, one of the big changes, and I think I agree with it pretty solidly, is the removal of the index card, like army index cards.
Yeah.
I was not a big fan of that. All in all, I'm kind of glad they're leaning away from that. Hopefully
I saw where they were
stays.
going with it. They saw some success with War Scrolls in Age of Sigmar, but I'm with you on this one, Travis. I'm not a fan of the index cards and stuff. It's not as convenient as I was hoping it was going to be. I'd much rather just have my actual codex in hand and
For people who aren't regular players, what is an index card? What is it used for? Why don't you like it?
So, an index card. This started seeing a lot of widespread use with the 4th edition of Age of Sigmar and into the end of 9th and into 10th edition of Warhammer. And what it is each individual unit, be it a named character or your boot soldiers or a vehicle, will have a index card sized rules card, generally printed on cardstock and sold as part of a pack, that has all of the rules and stats for that unit on the card. This was particularly important in the end of 9th and going into 10th edition because the use of keywords became vital. They were make or break on everything, and knowing what keywords your unit had and what equipment they could be equipped with was very, very important. Now, I have mine for my Cadians, and there were a few things that were nice about it. I could keep damage tracks directly on a character's card, for example, instead of having to put little like blood markers or a dice next to a wounded character on the table. And so that's what they were going for. Is let's see if Travis. Yeah,
Nope, my
your green
background was just
screen's
gonna-
eating it up.
Gonna eat it up.
Actually, do I
I
have
think
mine
I can
on
turn
hand?
that off.
You keep talking. I'll find
Yeah.
mine.
And so this kind of stuff, guys, was meant to be a bridge into several of the rules changes they made. What catalyzed this was that they attempted to
There we
move
go.
away from a lot of the contested roles of things, with your melee skill hitting at a static ratio instead of being comparative. The exception, of course, being the strength of attack versus the toughness of your target.
It did speed things help to speed things up in the fact that you had a quick reference guide for any special rules for your army. The downside, and this is where I really got put out by the index card thing, is that these would come out, you would buy them in order to properly field and play your army, and then 10,000 changes would come down out of the line. So you had your index card and then an entire sheaf of notebook paper printed off with all of the changes to particular keywords.
Oh yeah, a lot of mine have pin marks where I changed just directly on the card, like this is this now.
Yeah, and so that was kind of my I'm kind of liking this living document supplement that GW is testing the waters with. Hopefully it stays. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be like it was back in 8th, right? I don't think they're just going to release the hardback codex, call it a day. They've made an incredible amount of money on their accessories and peripherals, right? Making specialty dice, making the cards, making stratagem cards. And this is where, at least amongst the crew that I played with, it got a little bit weird, right? Because the stratagem cards actually were very, very useful. I loved having the stratagem cards.
The mission specific cards were also
Yeah.
handy as well, because you knew win conditions. Like you could very easily just walk over wherever you had the stuff piled and check what was going to get you command points, what was going to be win conditions.
Absolutely right. Additionally, this came out with the Maelstrom game style, which has been a thing for several editions now, where you can play randomly generated games using a deck of mission cards, where they can change up the map, your deployment, what things are odd or rules are changed in order to play a particular scenario, and it kept the game very fresh and easy to play. And I liked them. I thought the Maelstrom deck was cool. I thought the mission deck was cool. The index cards were kind of a natural evolution to that, in my opinion, and they didn't stay relevant long enough for them to ever get any use, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm happy with the living document that they are going to update, that you can just re-download as a PDF. So if ever something gets outdated, you can just get, instead of having 10,000 supplementary sheets, you can just get the most up-to-date one. But before we talk about rules, I think we jumped the shark a little bit. We should talk about what exact units are coming in this orc boss, or orc box, I should say. That way we know which keywords we're going to be paying attention to. I've got the list pulled up real fast. So box comes with the war boss, a banner knob, a big boss, a pain boy with a grot orderly, a weird boy, 20 orc boys with a Z, 10 Gretchkin, a war track with 2 Ks, and a big mech Daka rig.
So we are actually going to be discussing the orc rules themselves for anybody that is an orc player that is excited to see where your faction's going as we get into Armageddon and the 11th edition. We do have a document kind of talking about all of the rules and detachments and stratagems that the orcs are going to be able to implement. The first thing that is going to be immediate, and we're not going to get into the specifics of it right now, but to tag on to what Travis was saying, is the new rules for things like wagons and rolling def, as it were, that are taking over, as well as rules for your detachments, your Mordaka rules, and what exactly a WA even is. So, lots of good stuff coming down the pipe.
One thing with everybody, if you're a big player of the game, you might have noticed that there is some new units for orcs on top of everything else.
There's one new unit.
Yep.
I was tracking. I thought there was more than one.
There's one new sculpt for the war track, and then there's a new unit, which is the big mech Daka rig.
Yep, that is the only new.
But several of them also have updated rules.
Yeah. Most of that stuff, most of these updated models came out at the mid to end of 10th.
Oh, Banner Knob. Banner Knob is actually a new unit as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is Banner Knob
'Cause
new?
it-
I thought Banner Knob
yeah.
was.
I got lost because they released several different knobs and bosses recently that I missed, so I didn't even know there was a beast boss.
Yeah, 'cause there was you could carry the banner like previously, but now there's an actual unit that's
Unit
the
for
banner
it.
knob.
It's not just a knob that you glue a banner onto.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is still that, but now it looks special.
Yeah, now it's a particular knob, not just the one you snatched up out of the box.
Yeah.
So I think it's an important thing though to mention is in regards to the army is that it was pretty cool that they put the two newest units into the box set on top of everything else. And it was something nice to see. And I think there's some of them are new sculpts too, right? Like some of the units are the brand new
Absolutely, yeah.
sculpts for just this edition. So it makes a lot of sense to pick this box up to start your orc army. Or even just to
Yeah.
grow your current orc army because you do get
Absolutely.
the new sculpts and like you do get
Yeah.
the new particular characters.
If you're an established orc player, the only thing that wouldn't be just like the best of the best out of here would be the Gretchkin mob.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You need them, but you don't need. If you've already got 20 Gretchkins, you don't need 10 more.
Indeed. We're also
pay
going to
them
be
nicer.
covering lots of points, guys, for those of you that are interested in how it goes. If you're looking to start getting into orcs, we're going to be working off of some points totals that puts us around 700. There is plenty of fluctuation with that, by the way. Able to take it all the way up to like 780, all the way down to like 650, depending on what options you're taking. We're going to go with 700, which is what comes in the Armageddon box that you're going to be splitting with your buddy. And we're going to be talking about how those points work and what we would do to round out that army to a nice, sexy little 1,000 point game.
Yay.
Yay! So I am going to go through the detachments real quick. The reason this is important, guys, is because this dramatically changes what you
This is
want to add to your army.
Big change.
This is also, I think, a buff for orcs.
The detachments?
Yeah, the way
Yeah,
the way it works now.
I'm absolutely in agreement. So detachment rules. Actually, Bones, do you want to take us through exactly what a detachment is?
No, that's on you, dog.
All right. So your detachment, guys. The rules for
Yeah,
detachments.
y'all are for explaining the rules. I know a bit, but I don't have the experience that y'all guys do.
Fair enough. Effectively, guys, what a detachment is it's a guideline for the list of special rules that your models get when you field them on the table. There is a plethora of different rules on how this works depending on the edition you play in. In 11th edition, you effectively, if I understand it correctly, you get one detachment, but you can get smaller auxiliary style detachments that can be tagged on to the side of it. I'm going to be focusing primarily on those big detachments where it's like I'm not just fielding orcs, I'm fielding a speedwa kind of thing.
If anyone listening is interested in getting into the tournament level of play, please note that all of us are fairly casual players.
Yeah.
Meaning gentlemen in pickup games when we play. If you are looking for a deep dive into the absolute minutia and interaction of every single rule and detachment, there is a man that does a podcast and a rules breakdown. His name is Brad Chester.
Indeed. Shout out to Brad Chester.
Yeah, he's one of the premier tournament players in Warhammer for like the past 20 years. He's been playing for a long time. He does in-depth rules breakdowns if you are looking to be a tournament player. Now, if you're looking to have a casual play with your friends, this is fine.
That's what we do.
If you're looking to get super serious, that's the guy you want to listen to.
Yeah, nothing that we talk about should be considered like advice for winning any more than maybe with your buds or at a local LGS. We are not tournament players. There's going to be details that we do not take advantage of or miss entirely. So consider this a casual review.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay. So this is how the change works for 11th edition for detachments. You get detachment points now.
Mhm.
At 1,000 point army, you get 2 detachment points, and so you could combine essentially 2 detachments, and as long as they don't share keywords, you can mix them.
There you go.
which is a change to last edition where your detachment layout was based on a series of keywords that you had to have in your army to fulfill the detachment. That gave you a number of command points. I gotta say, I'm liking the way this point system looks for detachments for 11th. This is
If you go to a 2,000 point army, you get 3 points.
Yeah.
But
Now, I have to say, I think
below 2,000, you can only have up to 2.
if you go to 5,000 points, you'll be playing one game of Warhammer for several days.
Yeah.
And you still only get 3 detachment points. I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah,
the
you
maximum.
still only get 3 detachment points.
I will say I agree with Travis's assessment on this one. I think the new point system for detachments is going to be fantastic. It lets you really custom and tailor your units to what you want to put on the field. They kept what I liked best about detachments, however. So the way that detachments worked in 10th and 9th edition, to a certain extent, is that they determined what stratagems you could use, what your big special powers were, so to speak. And there was a host of common ones that everybody gets. Then there was generally a host of ones that your faction would get, usually 2 to 6 that your faction could access. But then your detachment really changed up your gameplay, giving you between 6 and 12 stratagems that just that detachment got access to. And they kind of kept that going with the new detachments going in, with generally 6, from what I can see, stratagems being attached to each detachment.
I think that's gonna so it's like one of the biggest changes like to the structure of the game, and I think it's gonna have obviously the one of the biggest impacts on tournament scenes.
Absolutely.
For sure. And
go ahead.
I will say with this edition, they're looking to speed up the game yet again, which
Mhm.
again, after 8th edition, any change to speed the game up was the correct move.
Absolutely.
8th edition was probably the most ponderous game of Warhammer I have ever played in my entire life. Turns took forever.
Well, and for those of you getting into the hobby, I need to warn you about something here. For us old fogies and graybeards that are in this hobby, it kind of works like being a fan of Doctor Who that I've seen. Every time there's an edition change with significant adjustment, everybody that played the previous adjustment is going to be just railing at the walls. They don't like it. Change is bad. I miss my whatever. And that includes me to a certain extent. However, I am feeling very confident about this new edition, and I actually really like the changes that 10th edition made. And so I have to eat crow on several of them. When it first got introduced that they were moving the psychic phase just to be part of the shooting phase, I raged. I thought that was the stupidest shit. I was miserable. It was
28 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man, I hate that I'm 2 weeks in a row I'm the one that broke it. It was the right move. It absolutely was the right move. It made the game better, and it made it where a lot of my psychic powers didn't actually fail because they became passive buffs to my units. It was better.
It was, yeah, it's such a big improvement, especially to the speed of the game, because again, it makes sense that your psychic phase is part of your shooting phase. It's a ranged magical power.
Yeah, 90% of the powers were just deal damage at range variations anyway.
Yeah. I do, man, I do miss chapter specific powers just because of the flavor, but at the end of the day, I don't like having to spend a whole bunch of additional points on it too, because psychers for Space Wolves were always insanely expensive because I didn't get to pick any of the free psychic powers that most psychers got. I had to buy my special ones.
So with all that information in mind moving forward, guys, we're going to take a look at the detachments. The first one up is going to be one of the fan favorites, and that's the Speed Freaks detachment of the Speed Wall.
That means you will be painting everything red.
Indeed.
Red goes faster.
There is a yellow Speed Freak faction called the Snake Bites, but they're not as fast. So
because they're not red.
Because they're not red.
They will explode better.
So this detachment applies to your Speed Freak units as well as your truck units, but this does exclude any kind of aircraft. Ain't no sense in racing in the air. You get an ability called Turbo Booster. Now, that means anytime your army advances, it can use its Turbo Booster. If it does not need to make an advancement roll. Instead, until the end of the phase, models in that unit have a move characteristic of 24 inches, but can only move in one straight line. And until the end of the turn, ranged weapons equipped by those models have the assault ability, and the unit cannot declare charges. So you can hit the go fast button. You can still shoot, but you can only go in a straight line.
The gone in 60 seconds, the little go baby go button.
Yeah. There is a host of enhancements to go along with this. I'm not going to go over all of them, guys, because it would make the episode unbelievably long. There is a document for orcs on the Warhammer website. You can feel free to download and even read along with us. So that comes with 6 different stratagems that you can employ to make your fast people even faster and take advantage of being super fast. Next is going to be the Blitz Brigade. So this detachment focuses primarily on your what we call boots. It's your regular soldiers. I believe in the orcs that's generally boys.
It's your boys.
Yeah. And their transport capabilities. Their special
And your
abilities called
Gretchkins. We have
and the
can't forget
Gretchkin. I guess
Gretchkins.
technically they count. They get an attachment ability called Eager for the Fight. Each time an orc unit from your army disembarks from a transport, until the end of the turn, you can re-roll advance and charge rolls made for orcs in that unit. Some mechanical infantry. I actually think it's short, simple, to the point, and ain't nothing better than a bunch of boys running with the boots with choppers in hand. And again, 6 stratagems attached to that detachment. Next, and I'm not going to lie to you, this that makes me so happy to see this detachment. If I was running orcs, which I don't, but if I was, this would be what I ran. This is the Freebooter crew. These are your orc sky pirates. They get an ability called Here Be Loot. At the start of your command phase, you select one objective marker. In a game, there's generally 6, but this can be adjusted depending on what you're playing. Until the start of your next command phase, that objective marker is a loot objective. Each time a model with the orc infantry, orc mounted, or orc walker keywords from your army makes an attack, that attack has the sustained hits 1 ability if either or both of the following are true. A, the model's unit is within range of the loot. B, the attack targets a unit that is within range of the loot. Now, sustained hits, guys, what that means is if I remember correctly, 6s explode. Every time you roll a 6 to hit, you actually get another attack or another hit. So that's fantastic for orcs, shooting it up.
Mordaka is mo better.
Mordaka, mo better.
That feels like they're bringing back the Daka pole, which was one
Yeah.
of my favorite orc things. Is if you chose not to move, you could shoot. You could do extra shooties.
Well, I know when orcs got the release in, I believe it was 9th. We have a buddy of ours that plays orcs. Shout out to Big Rob. They got an ability that made me laugh so hard. I think it was a stratagem called Long Uncontrolled Bursts.
Long
And-
uncontrolled burst.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So those are the 3 starting detachments that are going to be accessible to orc players at the beginning of 11th edition. So either go fast, have boys, or get loot. Those are your orc options.
Well,
I'm
that's not
making
actually true because codexes from 10th are still legal at the
Oh,
beginning.
still illegal.
So
that
you
is
still
true.
have all the previous detachments as well. The Green Tide or Tide of Green, whatever the fuck it's called.
Which was definitely a fan favorite and favorite in the tournament for a long time.
Yeah,
Well,
it
it's
kinda got
probably the
missed.
best. It was the
It-
best attachment for orcs for a while.
Yeah, it got nerfed though with no longer rerolling ones.
So yeah, if you do have an army specifically designed, painted for your existing detachments, those are still going to be applicable into play, at least for the time being. I've actually very rarely ever had a model or unit in Warhammer get completely defunct and removed from my list. It has happened, but it's not as often as people like to say it is. So I'm confident that you'll probably be okay.
R.I.P.
those are-
Stormfang gunship.
Right. Those are our 3 new detachments, because Bones is absolutely correct. Now, given those 3, I'm curious, if y'all were fielding orcs, where would you go? I've already said I'd go Freebooter in a heartbeat. Give me orc pirates. What about you guys?
Speed Freaks.
Speed freaks.
Yeah,
Ooh,
they're gonna
3 Speed
they're,
Freak
they're
drops.
probably gonna be the best out the box.
And I'm going to tell
Fantastic.
I'm making my prediction right now. I think 11th edition is going to be the return of the speeder
Ooh, I'd actually
for
like to see
every
that.
army. I'm saying we're going to see more motorcycle units. We're going to see more like mid-sized or sorry, like small-sized mobile units, bikes. I think are going to hopefully make a comeback.
I know that the Eldar would be stoked to have more rules come that. They're the only ones that actually stuck with their bikes all the way through last
Oh, the
edition.
swoop bikes, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Those were devastating last edition for a little while. They
all
got
right. So,
nerfed real fast.
with that detachment in mind, guys, let's go ahead and go over what you get with the box so that you can start kind of planning. Now, with a lot of the stuff in 11th edition, this is going to come down to they're releasing a box that is very multi-purpose. I think that the Armageddon orc side of the Armageddon box is going to be fantastic no matter what kind of orcs you're wanting to put on the field. I think you'll be able to use this box really well. It comes with the following. You get your war boss and your big
Yep.
boss.
And so that's going to be, for those of you that have played older editions, it's going to be your HQ choice, right? Like that's the guy
Yeah.
that's in charge.
Yep. If the war boss is going to be, your big dick in the locker room guy, with the big boss being his left hand, and then you get the banner knob, which we discussed previously. He's the dude that carries the flag. The rest of your characters are going to include a pain boy. Now this is your orc. I'm going to call it a medic. It technically heals stuff. Um, so that's your pain boy is your medic. Your weird boy is your wizard. He's your psychic guy that twists reality.
He gets his powers from Mork and Gork.
And so those are your character options. And I kind of like it. 5 character options coming down on the field is kind of nice. With a medic and a psyker, the banner boy, and then 2 bosses. With that, you get your, I believe, 2 units of boys. Anybody got a count on that?
20 orc boys.
Yeah.
20 boys. So yeah, your unit composition for your boys is going to be 9 boys plus a boss knob. If it comes with 20, that means that you can put either 2 units down, or if I remember correctly, you can combine them into just a blob.
You can have one big unit.
Yeah, mob.
And so you got your Gretchen. We talked about Gretchen. They're worthless. They stab stuff.
They are definitely not worthless.
They are not worthless.
No, your Gretchen guys. So they fill a lot of different roles in the battlefield. They're actually not bad at all. They're most known for their scavenging capabilities. With the card on this one, they do still have thieving scavengers, which lets them at the start of the movement phase for each objective that you control that has one or more friendly non-battle shocked units with this ability within range. You get to roll a d6. If one or more of those rolls comes up 4+, you gain a command point. Now, I don't have to be the one to say, gaining command points in this game is make or break. It's fantastic. So those are your Gretchen. After that, you got
Gretchen's whole purpose is to stand in front of your other orc boys and take up shooting.
Yeah, you're a meat shield. They're the equivalent of the Space Marine Scout.
The screen.
Yeah, the scouts.
They're a screening unit. That's 100% what they are. But they are very important.
Anyone that didn't use their Space Marine Scouts as bullet shields to protect better units was not fielding scouts correctly.
They got to learn. After that, guys, we got the War Track. I love the sculpt on this model so much. It's effectively a motorcycle with tank treads. This counts as one of your vehicles, and frankly, it's a Skaven model. It explodes. That's its whole thing. It's got an ability called Indiscriminate Detonations. In your shooting phase, when this unit has resolved its attack, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks. The enemy unit is suppressed until the start of your next command phase, and while it is suppressed, it has a -1 to hit. That's what suppression is. So basically, it's a motorcycle with missile launchers on it. The upgrade to that, of course, is going to be the Big Mech Daka Rig. Now, this falls into your roll and def rules that we mentioned earlier. This is your big vehicle, and
yeah, he's like
it's gnarly. You're talking a blitz cannon and a rocket launcher, churning out over 14 attacks at ranged every turn. It's got 4 melee attacks, and the Daka Blitz special rule, which is in your shooting phase when making attacks with this unit. If its blitz cannon targeted a non-monster, non-vehicle, that weapon has a +6 attack rating, meaning that it goes from 8 attacks to 14.
So is it worth the points? Because I'm seeing it's like 130 points for that.
Oh, to shoot at infantry units, you can clear an objective. You can clear somebody off an objective with that. Going from 8 attacks to 14 is insane.
I would say absolutely. You're talking a 3+ save, 5+ invuln.
Yeah.
11 wounds, an 8 toughness, an 8-inch movement with an OC of 3 for 130 points. I'm buying this every time.
Yeah. And I'm shooting at it with every las cannon I have.
Like, so I put Cadians on the ground, right? If I'm on Armageddon with my guard, I'm putting everything at this thing turn 1. Everything I have is locking
Because
onto
everything
that.
nothing you field. Everything you field has the infantry tag to it, so it's going to
Yeah.
get +6 to its tags.
There are certain guard commanders that'll put an Iron Battalion on the field, a bunch of tanks. I am not one of those. I love my boots. I love my special forces units, and this would destroy me. So no, that's a hard pass for me. I'm pointing everything at the big mech Daco rig.
My long fangs are immediately targeting that thing with every heavy weapon they've got.
That is a fact.
That's crack missiles, that's las cannons, that's the plasma incinerator. Like, we're doing all of it.
So that's your lineup. You got one big vehicle, one little vehicle, a good group of boots with 20 boys and a unit of Gretchen, and then 5 command units in the form of the Weird Boy, the Pain Boy, the Banner Bearer, the Big Boss, and the War Boss.
Do we have the actual point list for them, for all the units?
So I've got an approximate point list.
Yeah, they haven't.
I have
given the full.
approximate.
I think it's like around like 750 for each army.
Yeah.
Yeah, give or take, yeah.
But we don't know for sure because they haven't announced all of them.
Yep. Now, in my
That's what I
opinion,
thought,
if you got this box and split it with your buddy, your orc tactics are going to be very straightforward. You're going to put stuff on the field. You're going to shoot a whole bunch of the army while you're running at it. You're going to tie them up in melee, and you're going to chop them up. That's what I see coming from this unit list so
actually,
far.
there's so with some of the changes in the rules, there's actually some pretty sweet strategies I think that are going to be here. Because now you can first turn basically use your Weird Boy, teleport a mob, secure an objective, and then charge.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's like old school to jump rules.
It's exactly what that reminds me of, is the jump.
It's the jump. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
So yeah,
that Weird Boy is going to be able to. Let's go look see what the Weird Boy and the Pain Boy actually got going for him here.
Yeah, with the Weird Boy, with the change to that, the way the objective secured keyword ability works now, so the orcs can do that. Like, you're gonna secure an objective, and then move off from it, and it's still yours until an enemy unit moves into it.
Oh, okay. All right, so your Pain Boy
sit on top of it all the time.
Pain Boy's melee stuff is fine. It's got 4 melee attacks using the Doc's tools and the Erdy Syringe. The Erdy Syringe does have anti-infantry 4 plus extra attacks and precision, meaning you do get all 4 attacks in melee, so that's kind of nice. Immediately, I know I'm going to be using him if I was going orcs with Doc's tools, because that provides the unit he's attached to feel no pain 5 plus. Now, I don't think they've changed that significantly in the new edition. So effectively how that works is when you take a point of damage, you roll a dice. If it's a 5 plus, no, you didn't.
Put him in your Gretchens.
He also has hold still and say, when this model scores a critical wound with its Erdy Syringe against a non-vehicle unit, it also inflicts D6 mortal wounds to that unit.
Ooh. Tank Buster.
Interesting. No, it's a character breaker.
No, it's a character buster.
That's wild. He does have the Grot Orderly once per battle ability in your command phase. If the unit is below starting strength, you can return up to D3 destroyed bodyguard models. That's any model from the unit you attach the Pain Boy to the unit, which is pretty schmexy.
Put him in your Grots.
Yep. Let's see. It doesn't have rules on what he attaches to, like we would see. Oh, there it is. This model may be attached to boys, break-a-boys, burn-a-boys, lootas, knobs, or tank busters.
Oh, sad. Can't put him in with the Gretchens.
So that's your Pain Boy, guys. He's a heavy defensive unit supporting any unit that you attach him to, and is decent in melee. Now, the Weird Boy. Let's go ahead and, let's get weird.
He comes with an Ed Banger.
Yep, he's got the Ed Banger psychic power. This has the psychic and precision keywords. That means that it can target character units that are inside of a bodyguard unit. It's AP -3, strength 6, does 1 damage. It's fine. 1 attack. He's got his wall staff. Also has the psychic tag, decent damage. I immediately noticed that he's got deadly demise D3. That means if you kill him, he explodes.
Yeah.
So that's always fun. And let's look at his special abilities. The Wah Energy. For every 5 models in the unit, he can be attached to boys only. So you got to put him in with a unit of boys. So
No
every
love for the
5
Gretchen.
boys, yeah, in the unit, you add 1 to the strength and damage, of this model's Edbanger weapon. And while the unit contains 10 or more models, that weapon has hazardous, meaning it does big damage, really easy, but might explode.
I mean, sometimes things explode, man. It just
Yeah,
happens.
I'm a
That's not
plasma
weird.
guy, so hazardous doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah. Really hoping
and then,
there's no ones.
like Jimmy Bones brought up, he's got to jump psychic power once per turn per army. In your movement phase, you can roll a d6, and on a result of 1, the unit suffers d6 mortal wounds as you kill your own people. On a 2 through 6, you place the unit in strategic reserves, and it gains the deep strike rule until the end of the phase. This can then make an ingress move, including during the first battle round. And so, yeah, you take them off the board, you put them back on the board, and capture objectives, charge units, do all the good stuff.
Jump
and so
behind enemy lines and hit people's squishies.
the orc boys now have the obscure objective keyword, so they automatically can do that now. And they also have a unique ability that they can charge off of a secured objective. That same.
Oh, that's
So that's what I'm saying.
fancy.
So
Without
you can
losing
literally
control.
Yeah, you can
So they're
jump
sticky.
them. Yeah, exactly. You can jump them to objective, secure it, and then charge into
That's
combat.
fantastic. I love
Pretty-
sticky boots. Love sticky boots.
Big plus for the orcs.
Yeah, that's huge. That's massive.
Okay,
Okay, so
we covered the Gretchen, we covered the boys.
Let's look at the boss. Let's look at the big guy here. So we like to call it our us on the battlefield guys. Your main HQ, your army leader, your big model that's in charge of the whole thing, your general. Most often is going to be your war boss. Looking at the war boss, we got a custom shooter with rapid fire 2, vortex, and we got a custom chopper with cleave 1. Now, Bones, you brought up cleave for the show. Cleave is not a keyword I'm familiar with. How does cleave work?
It is the same thing as what was it? There's a blast. It's the same thing as blast, but for melee.
Oh, that's awesome! Holy
Yeah.
crap!
I told you.
Okay, that's gnarly. So yeah, let me
For every
that's
5
exciting.
models in the target unit, your weapon gains a specific number of bonus attacks. For example, Cleave 1 grants 1 extra attack per 5 models. Cleave 2 against a 10 model squad would generate 4 extra attacks. To get your cleave bonus, you're going to have to declare that all of your attacks are being made against a single target unit. And you can't split your attacks, obviously, because that would
defeat.
That wouldn't make sense. Yeah.
So
it's going to be like
exciting.
monstrous. It's probably going to be attached to more of your like monstrous, like big heavy hitters. So your war bosses, probably a lot of your named characters for Space Marines. When those updates are coming out, probably going to get clean monster units.
So yeah, with Cleave, that makes it awesome. Cleave's fantastic. I use Blast a lot using rocket launchers, so that'll give you an idea of what Cleave kind of looks like on the field.
For those of you trying to think of like a cinematic thought of that, Cleave works the way Sauron was batting aside unnamed elves at the beginning of the Lord of the Rings movies, where it's just kind of that casual backhand swing and like 10 people went flying.
Yep.
This is that.
So your war boss can be attached to boys, breakaboys, and knobs. No surprise there. He does have the leader keyword. And he's got 2 abilities. First is Might is Right. This unit's melee weapons have a +1 to hit rolls. That's just blanket. So he's always +1 to hit. That's fantastic. And the biggest is the best. While the Wah is active for this unit, the model's melee weapons have a +4 attack rating. Meaning that for your custom chopper, you move from 6 attacks to 10 with cleave 1. Dude's pretty gnarly. Not gonna lie. And then of course
Cleave's dope.
Cleave's awesome. Then you got your big boss. Now this is the second. This is the right hand man, the second in charge. He is equipped with looks like a slugger. That's a pistol. It's a gun you can shoot in melee. And the two-handed Big Choppa, also with Cleave 1, 5 attacks, strength 7. He's got the ability Bustin' Heads. His melee attacks all have sustained hits 1. That's flipping awesome. And Something to Prove. This unit has a +1 to all charge rolls. He can be attached to boys, breakaboys, and knobs.
Still no love for the Gretchen.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Poor
there's not gonna
Gretchen.
be.
Poor Gretchen.
Just to round us out, so we talked about every unit, let's go ahead and look at the banner knob next. He's equipped with a Shooter with Rapid Fire 1. No shocker there. Strength 4, 1 damage. And a Choppa, no special keywords on melee. He is a support unit that can be attached to boys, breakaboys, burnaboys, flash gits, ludas, knobs, and tank busters. And his Wah banner. The unit has a 5+ invulnerable save. And while the Wah is active for this unit, it has +1 toughness. Cool.
They really did a lot with the orcs for this edition, it sounds like. Must have been a long time since they did anything with them.
I will say
10th had a pretty...
Yeah, 10th had a pretty big orc release. So did 9th. But
Yeah.
10th had a lot of the new models got released. New sculpts.
Didn't talk about the boys themselves yet.
Yeah, we
That is
got to
true.
talk about the boys.
And they got updated, so it is relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the key feature with the banner knob, I would almost always put a banner knob with my boys, and here's why. His objective control is 6. He counts as 6 models by himself for taking objectives. And when you can attach them to boys and make that sticky, meaning that the objective stays secured when you leave, even better.
That
Let's hear it for the boys.
that +1 bonus for the boys, like blanket +1 bonus for the unit it's attached to, is also
Oh,
super
yeah.
handy when it's
Super dope.
when it's your boys.
All right, so Bones is right. Let's look at the boys. Looking through toughness 5 on everybody, including the boss knob. Leadership 7 with objective control 2 per model. 1 wound on your boys, 2 on the boss knob. You can be equipped with custom shooters at rapid fire 2. This makes you strength 4 and 4 attacks. A combi rocket, which is 1 attack at strength 10, AP -2, meaning it's armor piercing and does 3 damage.
Also, as I mentioned before the thing, it should be noted that now orc boys come automatically equipped with the Slugga, Shooter, and Choppa. That's actually you do not have to choose. So I think that is a pretty significant update already.
I think that's just the way it should have been, right? Like you got your rifle, your sidearm, and your melee weapon for orcs. I can't think of a single orc boy that would go into battle without that. So
Sometimes multiple.
Additionally, your boss knob comes automatically equipped with a Slugga, a custom shooter, and a Big Choppa. So that is also fantastic. Let's look at some of the special rules here. Faction Wall. All right, so they got a special rule called Get to Good Bits. Now, this is what Bones talked about earlier. This means at the end of your command phase, if your army controls an objective, that objective is secured by your army and you don't lose control of it if you leave it, which is huge. Now, the boss knob can have its custom shooter replaced with 1 combi shooter or a combi rocket. Looking at this, I don't know, maybe the combi rocket if you're looking to bust tanks, but I don't know that I'm switching into the combi shooter off of the custom shooter personally. So the custom shooter is rapid fire 2, which if I remember correctly is you get additional 2 shots if you don't move.
Yeah.
Which takes you from 4 attacks to 6 potentially at strength 4, 1 damage, ballistic skill 5. The combi shooter is 24 inches instead of 18 inches, 2 attacks, no special keywords, same damage, same hit ratios. So you get 6 inches more range, but you lose potentially up to 4 attacks. I think I'm taking the shooter, personally.
I think it's going to be conditional depending on what you think you're going to be coming up against when you're doing your points lists.
Yep.
Which, speaking of, we're running a little bit short on time here, so we have about a 750 points list right there. What are we doing to bring it to a 1,000-point army?
I'll go first because I picked pretty standard picks. I have a feeling everyone else probably went a little more creative. I would go Squighog, Knobs, and Storm Boys.
How come did you pick those?
Storm Boys give you additional movement on the battlefield, which lets you jump over the top of other infantry units to get to the back line if you were having a particularly troublesome group of shooters. Anything with a jump pack is handy.
Okay.
So that just gives you additional mobility. Squig Hogs have the mounted trait, so they're a cavalry style unit. Additional hit points, they're really good at tying down groups in melee and then keeping them there because they're harder to bring down. They're not necessarily your big damage dealers, but they are a good, fairly fast moving harrowing force, so you can kind of keep people tied up in melee and keep them off of objectives or contest objectives a little more aggressively. And then knobs are just those are your big orcs.
Yep. Ain't nothing wrong with knobs, baby.
Yeah, as far as the additional keywords that come with your war boss, I think knobs is a good unit to attach him to. Just because he gives bonus to your knobs, and your knobs are going to be a lot harder to bring down. That way, those bonuses are doing more for longer. And knobs absolutely wreck in melee. Like, they are devastating. So
Yep.
yeah, I would pick up a box of the knobs just to put your war boss with.
For those interested, it looks like your Squig Hog boys come out at about $69 US. Your knobs, I cannot find.
Did you type it in right?
There it is.
Who's
Your knobs
next?
come in units of 5 for 42, and what was your third one, Travis?
Squig Hogs.
Squid Hogs. Yeah, talk about Squig Hogs at $69. Knobs
Oh, Storm Boys.
and Storm Boys. Storm Boys
Probably
are
be
jump
60.
units. That would be my guess. I'm looking at it right now. Man, I'm not typing these in correct. I'm just looking at the page as a whole. Where are the Storm Boys?
They're 42.
42. Thank you.
So,
all right, not a bad little addition. It gets you to roughly 1,000 points depending on equipment,
Yep.
and comes in at just under $200. It's not bad.
Yep.
Bones, what about you?
No, I want Bones to go last. I have a feeling Bones picked some wild stuff. I want Eric to go next. Eric, what did you pick?
So I agreed with you guys. The speed's the way I would go with the orcs. I think it's just fun that way. So I was looking through because I don't know as much as you gentlemen in regards to all this stuff. So I had to do a little more research and stuff like that. But I would probably add 2 trucks, or however you would say them in Orcish,
Truck.
and 10
You're right,
Storm
it's a
Boys.
truck.
Yeah.
And 10 Storm Boys, just so that way it's just faster up the field. And from everything I read, it's just it would allow me to be a lot more aggressive in my play, and just speed. I would be a lot faster and aggressive in the play, and it seems like it wouldn't be too bad. Too bad of an addition. I'm not adding some crazy stuff. I am adding 2 trucks. I'm not sure. They're probably a little pricey since it's 2 vehicles, but depending on what you're doing, it's not the worst.
They're about the best troop transport that orcs have.
All right, so your truck's points are coming in at approximately. I thought the points were on this page.
Trucks are about $60
70
per model.
Yeah, $60 for a truck, 70 points per truck. So you can add 2 trucks to the list for 140 points, which gives you 100 points to spend on your. You said Storm Boys, Eric?
Yeah,
that's not
so
bad
10
at
Storm
all.
Boys. Like I said, I don't know enough about. I don't play it as much as you gentlemen, so I kind of just poked around and looked at some different things that people did. And when I typed it all in, that's kind of like what I got out of it was just the fast play and that allows me to be aggressive because I'm not very good tactically. So makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, if we're saving Bones for last, I'm going to go ahead and pull mine in. I went back and forth. So originally I was going to say I'm adding in a burn Obama jet and a unit of commandos. However, I think what I might honestly do is add 2 units of commandos.
It's a good choice.
I'm adding in 2 units of commandos. I think that they'll do a lot of harrying force. They combine with the jump really well. They're combined arms units that gives you, a lot of close combat weapons, power weapons, and flamers. And yeah, I think what I'm doing is adding 2 units of orc commandos to throw at my opponent and watch them struggle against. So more boots. I'm sure everyone is shocked.
60 Gretchen. That's Bones.
Hope you like painting green.
Bones' pick is just nothing but
You just-
Gretchen. Just yeah,
Yeah,
just
just rattle
can
can
green.
Actually, mine's not that interesting. I think I looked at what they don't have, what their weakness is going to be. And it's vehicles. They don't have any like
Yeah.
anti-vehicle stuff other than some rockets from the truck. So what I would add is some tank busters
Ooh, solid
and
choice.
probably another 10-man orc boy mob.
Let's take a look here. Tank busters are gonna run you. Oh, maybe.
No
it
one
goes.
picked Def Coptas.
Oh, and I
So-
would also go with Green Tide for my detachment.
Oh yeah, Green
specifically
Tide's fantastic.
because I'm using so much of the orc boy strat.
So yeah,
No one
140
chose a
points.
Morkanaut.
So I looked at the walkers and a bunch of the big stuff. My honorable mention that it's hard for me to just not take it. It's kind of cheating, but the Armageddon Battle Battalion. Now the Armageddon Battalion's $170. It comes with what is it? The Dragsta?
It has Def Coptas in it.
Yeah. So it comes with a Def Killer War Trike. It comes with a Rucka Truck Squig Buggy and 6 Def Coptas. This is a highly mobile, heavy-hitting group of models that, especially if you're running Speed Freaks, these guys are going to kick serious ass.
Yeah. So but you have to remove. So my thought was like just using this box and then what I would add to it. If I'm actually with you more or less. If I was going to do things, that's actually what I would do too. Death Copters. I would actually want War Bikers, Mega Knobs,
Yeah.
and Tank Busters. And I would drop. Honestly, I would drop the mech because I'm not gonna. Like it's cool. It's a cool unit and it's useful.
Neat, yeah.
But if I'm gonna run like Speed Freaks, those are gonna be better units than the mech.
Yeah,
All right.
the mech has a pretty set top speed, and it's not.
Yep.
It's not fantastic, but I mean, if you can get it up there where it's got line of sight on infantry units, you're going to be able to burn people off an objective.
Well, and I think the downside is that your Def Coptas are not going to benefit from the new Speed Freak detachment, unfortunately.
So, gentlemen, I do have
yes.
to get out of here.
okay.
So, I'm hoping everybody enjoyed this. This was the first time we actually went through models, armies, detachments, all that stuff.
This is our first
we talk
Warhammer
more-
Crunchy. Yeah.
Yeah, usually we talk more history and things of that nature. So, hopefully this helps people. It helped me out. I'm debating on orcs as a second army. We'll see what happens. Again, I just have to start playing, so we'll see what happens with it.
They're fun, and I love the name of everything that they have. The
yeah.
way they name stuff just it tickles that right spot of my humor. Like everything to me is just funny.
But next week, since we did talk about Armageddon, that's been such a main focus, we will do some deep dive into like Armageddon itself next week.
Oh,
We're gonna have to do
yeah.
we're gonna have to do the abridged history of Armageddon.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, but we're just to kind of bring everything full circle. No point in talking Space Marines in particular on this, just because the box was very generic, like we mentioned last week, in the sense of you could make it any single chapter. It was beneficial to all of them. So
it is good.
may not
It's a
make
good
sense.
Space Marine
Yeah.
collection.
Yeah, it's definitely
that's
stuff
it.
that anybody
We
can
don't need
use
to do
to supplement their army or start a fresh one. So
yeah, so figure we do orcs, and then next week we'll do Armageddon itself. It's rather interesting, so I think people will turn out and kind of enjoy it. Anything else, anybody?
Well, I am going to go ahead and plug. Honestly, guys, if you listen to these 4 dudes talk about Warhammer this far, you like what you're hearing. Best way to support the channel, of course, is to buy some merch. Our summer line is out right now, and it kicks ass. If you're feeling particularly generous, you can give us a like, give us a comment down below on what you think we missed or anything that should be talked about with the orcs in general, or if you're planning on starting an orc army. And in particular, guys, you should follow us because we know the way.
And with that, we're going to bring this episode to a close. Find us wherever you get your podcasts from, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining us.
See y'all.
Goodbyes.
It's nice to say goodbye. Goodbye.